I mean, it still feels like if you're going to target anyone on the ROX Tigers, Peanut's going to be the way to go, but nobody's been able to make it work yet as we move into picks and bans for Longzhu versus ROX Tigers. You know, not only have the ROX Tigers won their matches, but they are the only completely undefeated team in this league right now. They have not lost a game yet.
They've done it with style, though. I believe they lost one game to KT
Oh, you're right, they have.
Earlier this game, but no series lost. Every other team, SKT included, lost a series.
GG drama.
ROX Tigers haven't done that. Longzhu have impressed me in a lot of factors. Specifically, their drafting's been really good. I don't know if I'm going to credit that wholly to Lust Boy, but the strategic heads between this team have drafted very well. They looked like they were going to take an easy series over Samsung. They took game one, 35 minutes of solid split pushing from Expression on the Fiora, and then everything went away. So clearly, in-game communication in the late game, still at a premium for Longzhu, but drafting phase in early game has been impressive.
Yeah, interesting bans. So far.
They're targeting out specific bans right here. Varus, Kuro has looked excellent on that champion. Smeb has had Quinn permabanned ever since he showed it on this stage. And the Gangplank ban, Gangplank and Rise, not 100% contested, but close to that.
Yeah. And so Longzhu cycling through a few options here.
Flame flashing his trademark cannon. This is a pick that Smeb used very well in that aforementioned pick. Flame never got to play the cannon in China, despite being so closely associated with it. A lot available. Remember, Lulu has made it through picks and bans, and when we're talking about top teams, that very rarely happens.
Yeah, I mean, Kalista also up for grabs. Any jungler you want, really, at this point, too. It's going to be the Tahm Kench, and you got to think that's probably going to go to Flame immediately. Nidalee Lulu picked up for the ROX Tigers.
That's super surprising to see that with every jungler available, Peanut insta-locks the Nidalee. Of course, it is a jungle that has very strong early trading. It's still a jungle that has amazing presence in the early and mid game, but it can fall away even with the introduction of Runic Echo.
There's not a lot of damage too coming out of that, but honestly, having that whimsy against Tahm Kench, I think, is really helpful.
I mean, the moment you lock in Nidalee, you're saying, I'm going to run the enemy jungler around the map. I'm going to take the trades early. I'm going to fight around the mid lane. It's a very aggressive early pick. It's a big salvo from the ROX Tigers.
It's a pretty typical Peanut choice, though. This guy likes to get in there and fight. And what's it going to be for the next two picks for Longzhu here?
What an off-season where you add in a jungler that wants to get there and fight to passive lanes, and suddenly everyone's active, suddenly everyone's reacting. They're playing around their new member so impressively, so quickly. And speaking of impressive, Chase's performance on Rek'Sai was out of this world last week, specifically when he was playing against Jin Air, playing around the Fiora vs Nidalee matchup, kept ganking what could of course snowball into a very bad lane for Lissandra, playing around Expression well. These picks are coming in quickly though.
Yeah, I mean, clearly ROX Tigers have come into this with a firm plan and they are not deviating from it at all.
It's looking like a last pick Fiora, that's what I'll tell you, is that when you draft like this, you're looking for the Fiora to complete what is a very powerful teamfight choice and potential outscale top laner.
I think you're absolutely right. You know, combining that with the Trundle Pillar, it really, you know, prevents Lucian from running away as easily. And if you can whimsy Tahm Kench before he can like eat anyone and either take them to safety on his team or take one of your teammates into danger, and you're looking pretty good.
Let's see how Longzhu reacts to this. Pure has played 4 out of 5 games on the Bard. Of course, did play that in the 2 losses against Samsung. I think his Bard is very impressive. He was able to split up teamfights really well last week, but crucially never had Bard ultimate up when he was fighting against against Samsung earlier this week. They have to blind pick their mid laner. They're not sure if it's going to be Lulu mid, so it might have to be forced onto Victor duty, is Coco.
Victor and Bard.
So is it going to be the Fiora last pick? Again, they were shouting it from the top of the rafters.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much ROX, with the speed that the Tigers put together this comp, they seem to have got exactly what they wanted.
And we know Smeb is a fantastic Fiora player too, so like you said, ROX Tigers getting the team comp that they apparently wanted and planned on getting from the beginning, not really reacting seemingly to what we saw out of Longzhu. So the question is, you know, will this big team fighting comp from the Tigers be able to do what it wants? You know, will it be able to find those team fights, and are they going to be able to mitigate things like the Tahm Kench and the Bard ultimate?
Seems to be very likely there's going to be a lane swap when you have Tristana, Lulu. You can put so much pressure on those outer turrets earlier. Specifically, the Tristana has fallen away. There hasn't been a lot of right-click auto attack carries in the meta, but Tristana's ability to siege down those turrets faster than anyone else means that she's actually taken here by Prey. We haven't seen a Tristana in a long while.
Yeah. Yeah, still a powerful pick. Still good at pushing turrets. Still good at loading in a lot of damage in the late game. And I suppose you can put the bomb on somebody.
I want to see the ROX Tigers rotate around Flames. Lack of wave clear on this Tahm Kench and push turrets because they have such strong siege. Poke from Nidalee, the Lulu poke as well, and then just auto-attacking down these turrets instantly.
Yep. That's right. So, as the game loads up, a huge best of 3 in the making. ROX Tigers looking to stay undefeated match-wise, and Longzhu Flames Korea re-debut, I guess you could say. Let's see who takes it. It's time to get in the game.
Everybody wants to rule the world. There's a room where the light won't find you. Holding hands.
And welcome to Summoner's Rift. The fans are ready to go. I'm ready to go too. And Flame, back in Korea, where he belongs. We're happy to have him back again. And it's interesting. It's interesting to see him come back after his year in China. Of course, his first game ever here in Champions. He had a great performance on Aurelia way back when. Now trying to make an impression on the Korean scene with Tahm Kench.
Just think about how much has changed since Flame last played in Korea, of course. CJ towards their latter days weren't really impacting the top spots too much.
Nope.
Of course, it was back in the CJ Entus Blaze days. They were still the sister teams.
Ooh.
Longzhu have made a really aggressive push here. I don't think they're spotted out, but they have so many wards down, I think. ROX Tigers know to respect that Longzhu is in this side of the jungle.
Yeah, they got those deep wards in. They really want to see what the lane swap situation is going to be, if there is going to be one.
First team we've seen actually be able to successfully put down these aggressive wards for the lane swap.
Very true. I mean, you've got Cosmic Binding, you've got a lot of CC out of this team, so the level 1 is really strong. So yeah, if you're ROX Tigers, you probably don't want to mess with that too much.
Just surreal that Flame and Coco against Smeb and Kuro is, at this point in 2016, a very even matchup that could honestly go either way. Kuro's been overperforming ever since the world started.
Yeah.
Coco is, of course, an excellent mid laner, and Flame is no longer the be-all and end-all of top laners in Korea.
Yeah, I mean, we have a term named after him, the Flamerize, when you get 100 CS ahead of your lane opponent. But fact is, he didn't really make a great impression in China. He spent a lot of time on the bench, didn't perform very well at Worlds when they put him in. And so we really don't know what to expect. Captain Jack, though, can expect a bit of damage if he gets slowed by that Trundle Pillar.
I think fans are a little bit unfair to Flame. He didn't see a lot of play in Spring, absolutely. In Summer, he had a run in the team where he did look good, and in Worlds, LGD, look,
Well,
they were a bit of a
team,
basket case overall, but when he played, they looked categorically better than when Acorn played in the first round of that group.
They had a better record at Worlds, but it just wasn't the Flame we knew and loved from Champions,
Was the Flame you knew and loved in Champions the same Flame around the tail end of his career, though? Because it felt like Flame 2014, especially the latter half, wasn't kind to him either. So
Very true.
We want to see him level up. We were surprised to see Expression as the starting top laner for this team, but honestly played very well in the series we saw from him. No gaping mistakes anyway.
Yeah.
You knew eventually they would rotate Flame in, and that's why we're excited to see what to make of this new top laner in Korea, Flame.
You have to wonder, too, if that loss against Samsung was really kind of the catalyst to make this happen.
In that series, for sure there were mistakes from Longzhu, but they were largely in late game shot calling, and maybe there's a shot calling issue as we knew that Peanut would be aggressive, starting very early.
Oh, yeah. And he's got the ability to duel this Rek'Sai, as Chaser is demonstrating. Gonna leave the big Raptor, though.
Nidalee's one of those champions who in late game team fights doesn't have a true role.
Oh.
He's still looking around.
Yeah, that's right. Chaser finds him, though. Peanut heals, taking damage. Gotta be careful, though. Doesn't want to get collapsed on.
Finishing the point on Nidalee. Her poke in the early game, once you finish the Runic Echo around level 9, is massive, but in the late game, she's not a damage dealer, she can't be a frontliner, she can heal the AD carry, but Rek'Sai will always be relevant as a tank, as a disruptor, so you need to get the pedal to the metal, and that's why Peanut, already in the enemy jungle, wants to boss around Chaser in the early game.
Yep. Good trading for Captain Jack and Pure. Able to get a little bit done with that Bard ignition.
Top lane, we have seen the very rare 1v1, especially in these matches between the expected top teams. We've seen so many lane swaps, but Fiora for now, free farming against Tom Cash.
Yep. Very true.
You and I got to cast this matchup. We wondered, what does it look like in the late game? It feels like if you hold on to that gray health, very hard to get the kill from the Grand Challenge, but if you get some help, if you get some CC, there is definitely some semblance of a world where Fiora kills Tahm Kench in a late game team fight or in a late game split.
She just doesn't seem to be able to do it by herself, you know?
I mean, the one time we saw it was when Riposte actually stunned up the Tahm Kench.
Yeah.
So maybe you just have to be that smart to hold on to your CC, not even attempt it, or really play around the cooldown of the Riposte. Because again, the only hard CC that stops Flame from popping that gray health late is the Riposte.
If you can riposte a W, you can stun him and maybe kill him before he activates the Z and gets all that health.
Trying to ensure that Chaser can't run this game. I mentioned the game, Longzhu versus Jin Air, during the pre-game, but the big factor there was how many times have we seen Fiora versus Lissandra this season, where specifically Someday from KT would outscale the Lissandra, and then in the late game they just win from there. But if you play around the Lissandra CC with a strong ganking jungle like the ROX side, it was Chaser showing that there is counterplay in such matchups. So Chaser's been really good at specifically choosing lanes and getting them ahead. That's why it's important for Peanut to keep track of him, ensure that Chaser's in Peanut's shadow rather than running one of these side lanes.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, Red gets caught up, takes a lot of damage, goes in, Peanut coming down too. They want to slow Pure and get that kill. The spear misses, but it doesn't stop Prey from picking up first blood.
2v2 kill actually comes. So of course, Peanut with the barest of assists, but Tristana does have good lane trading as well. You got too cute.
I think maybe Peanut got like a heal in at the very end or something. The spear didn't connect, so got to do whatever you can to get that assist, man.
Hey, you're a bloodthirsty support.
Oh,
I imagine when you've been relegated to Soraka duty, you've been guilty of just ulting to get an assist.
I don't play Soraka.
Never, ever?
Nope.
You've never piloted the unicorn on the Rift?
I actually don't think I have in like a serious game.
Well, it's fun to ult to get assists, even if the ult's not helping.
I suppose. It does sound fun. I've done that with Karthus plenty of times.
That's fair. That's fair. And you think there's aggressive jungle starts. How about double amp tome from Peanut?
That's pretty aggressive.
Who needs jungling items? I'll get it eventually, but start with the AP.
Well, he's actually got the potion. Picks up the Stalker's Knife now.
It's pretty pure. It's pretty poor of pure. That was actually awkward to say.
Pretty pure.
Pretty pure of poor. Pretty poor of pure to die in a 2v2. Bard's one of the best champions in lane against support Trundle just because he can actually magical journey through the pillar.
Right.
Just overextended for harass and got DPS down by the Tristana. So just a mistake from Pure, who's been, again, 5 games on the Rift, 4 games on Bard. He should know the limitations of this champion.
A big part of that gank was, I believe they were able to get the Rift Scuttler, and because of that, Peanut was able to make it down river unopposed. And, you know, he had kind of, you know, made it known that he was going to try to follow Chaser around a lot, and then suddenly he breaks off, and doesn't look like Longzhu adapted fast enough.
Operation Hold Down Chaser has definitely been effective. He hasn't had a say in any lane. He's been just passively farming, 8 minutes in, hasn't made his impact on the map. It's not the Chaser we've seen so far this season.
So far, so good. Meanwhile, Peanut moving up towards the top lane. Ping goes down. Looks like Chaser's going to come in. I don't know if they spot. They didn't really spot him. They don't have any wards there. They may try for something in top lane.
Smeb hasn't shopped. He's at half mana, so not sure if he was confident on the kill.
Yeah,
looks like they're going to try anyway.
We're talking about Peanut here, man.
That's fair.
You got to understand. Smeb now trying to get Flame to be aggressive. They can kill Flame early on.
They want Flame to cheat towards his top side and hit a max range spear. Oh boy, 2v2 action.
Yeah, and they saw Chaser coming in with that pink ward. Chaser's
going to get here
spotted
first.
too. Yeah, I think we're going to have a non-fight here.
Yeah, Victor rotated much quicker, so smart from Kuro to call that. But they're not done.
Peanut's still in that brush, yeah. I wonder if he's going to try to do this anyway.
Flame is really low.
Yes, he is. They have no idea that Peanut's there. They've got to be suspicious, though. They haven't seen him for a long time. They don't know where Lulu is either. Yeah, and finally the recall coming in for Peanut.
Yep. There's no reason for Flame to walk up. There's an outside chance he'll just get grand challenged and killed anyway.
True.
Without Peanut being there.
Yep, got to be careful. Flame just TPing back to lane. Smeb will probably end up doing the same same thing after he recalls.
Expecting both of the first early purchases to be about lane control. Balmy Cinder, and of course Sunfire Cape, and Tiamat coming through from Smeb.
Yep.
Very standard. We did learn about the Fiora versus Tahm Kench matchup is that usually it's Fiora hitting that 2-item power spike. It's pure, takes a lot of free damage again, but specifically getting Black Cleaver and Ravenous Hydra or Titanic Hydra, depending on how you lean, would be enough for Fiora to DPS down any tank. But Tahm Kench seems to be the one with the grey health that can see out what is usually a assassination build from Fiora.
Yep, pretty much. If you're taking a little wall shortcut to get to lane that much faster. Gorilla's getting some nice deep wards in though. That's going to help out in terms of taking this first dragon. Looks like ROX Tigers are going to get this one pretty unopposed.
It's an extension of Peanut running the jungle matchup. He got to chase space.
Oh
Boy.
Grand challenge, but that's not going to work out. Smeb a little bit low. I guess he did have the TP coming in from Kuro. And all of this, again, just distracting them enough that ROX Tigers get that dragon.
Crazy they could commit the teleport to top and take dragon in the same amount of time. That's just Longzhu not being proactive enough.
Yeah, I guess so.
Free dragon comes through. Kuro able to back. Of course, is Lulu, so happy to get out of lane.
Culling takes a big chunk out of Gorilla. Wow, gets him very low.
That was the full channel.
Yeah, it was. Luckily, though, for Gorilla, Trundle has a lot of sustain. Kuko poking away at this mid lane turret, gets a lot of extra time doing it too because of the teleport.
Cross Queen's claim already completed, low GP10. Now Chase is finally starting to push up. Okay. Feeling a bit more feisty in the mid lane.
Maybe so. I think he got the big raptor too.
I believe so.
Yep, smite not used by Peanuts, so really doubt he got that. So slight little lead by for the ROX Tigers at the moment, but even game overall. Chaser looks like he wants to try to come from behind here onto Smeb.
Coco moved towards the top lane, but backed away. Chaser's going to chill around.
Yeah, I think he was going back to check to see. No, never mind.
Well, the reason why he did that was that he stole away the Raptor buff, as you noticed. So he was just like, okay, either I'm going to clear out an important ward, or we might be able to get a successful gank. So it was just a smart wraparound from Chaser.
Yep. Look at the vision right now. It is pretty good in the top half of the map for Longzhu.
So a lot of the Longzhu comps have been, again, Bard-centric, as we've already noted, but have been no tank or, say, a Gnar for a front line.
Yeah.
Tahm Kench is the ultimate one-man front line. The guy never dies. Chaser.
All right, Smeb may have to burn his flash here. Tries to dash away, gets caught up. There's the flash. Are they going to dive him? No. A little bit too dangerous.
Didn't use riposte, so they couldn't go for a turret dive in that particular situation.
Yep. Wow, Peanut right there, too.
You'll remember, so it was a lot of Pure having to preemptively ult as Bard, then they have no front line, they kind of have to scatter across the map. They couldn't really win team fights. When you have Tahm Kench, it's not the same story.
Oh, Gorilla taking some big hits.
Ray has been bossing around Captain Jack, but hasn't translated that into turret damage or CS just yet, so
not yet.
Bit of a non-factor despite the early kill. We've definitely seen bottom lanes turned on less. We saw yesterday a failed contest on the Gromp led to a 30 to 40 CS advantage for Sangyun and Snowflower.
Yeah, very true. Get serious fast. Looks like a red buff steal coming in for Longzhu.
Wave clear is good on both sides. The outscale, as we mentioned, is not clear for Fiora, so late game team fights are going to be very close.
Oh, speaking of fights, Prey taking a full culling. Man, that binding did so much work. Wow, Pure and Captain Jack. Oh, that was really close. Prey needs to get out of there. Yeah, you can't stick around anymore, buddy. Sorry.
Both summoners down. Captain Jack has his heal up. Has to back away.
And Smeb kind of getting bullied here in this top lane by Flame, too.
And as an extension, Chaser has felt much more confident trying for the 2v2 against Peanut, who ran the first 8 or so minutes of the game.
Yeah. Oh, they're going to try to mess with Pure a little bit here, but Prey's still too low health to really go for a straight-up 2v2, it seems like.
And that might look questionable from Gorilla, but that's actually just putting down a pillar, feigning aggression to give Prey enough time to auto-attack some minions and get some all-important healing.
Yeah, exactly. That's the nice thing about Trundle, is that you can put some 1v2 pressure on yourself, too.
Well, the thing about putting down a pillar behind someone is they can't really run away, so you kind of in this awkward state where you're communicating with your support, etc., that means that Tristana gets that extra farm, maybe an extra item, maybe sustain. But again, it's Gorilla, the master of support, so
Yeah,
knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, just pillar, you walk up and queue them, maybe auto, and that's generally always a favorable trade.
And all this annoyance from Gorilla has allowed Prey to heal with just a Doran Blade to almost full health.
Oh, here comes Kuro coming up. They're going to try to make a plan to flame here. Kuro not TPing, just joining Smeb as he teleported back to lane.
Grand Challenge available, level 10, it's not level 2 Grand Challenge yet. Peanut's really aggressive here. They want to make a play in bot.
Coming from behind, and Pure and Captain Jack are pushed up a bit. Peanut's going to be seen by this pink ward when he comes in, though.
Yeah, they want Bard to use something, the Q, the E. They want him to have something down, maybe even the ult, and then look for the fight.
And they'd love Captain Jack to dash as well. Peanut just going for the red buff in the meantime. Kuro could join them, so it could end up being like a 4-man dive down in bot.
Red buff trade comes through from Peanut.
Yeah, is that red buff? Oh, Captain Jack's really low. They may just decide to dive this. Kuro's pushed back. He's lost quite a bit. Oh, Peanut coming in, spear blocked by Pure. Peanut takes a turret shot.
Rotation would have killed, but the Bard ultimate might have screwed things up, so they had to back away. It was a low percentage dive.
I mean, if they can force them back before Dragon comes up, obviously that's a useful situation for the ROX Tigers to be in.
These late game team fights are so terrifying. It's Gorilla and Peanut.
Oh, Ghosts.
Spotted
and
out.
They get spotted, yeah.
You don't think of Nidalee comps as terrifying late game team fights, but whether it's Tristana with the suite of Whimsy and Ultimate from the Lulu or Fiora, Nidalee heals might be enough, and Gorilla, of course, will be a pseudo tank in the front line. There's some crazy, crazy team fights coming from the ROX Tigers.
Oh, yeah.
Longzhu definitely have a strong team fighting comp themselves. They've got a front line, they've got good wave clear, but it feels like opting into a late game against Lulu and 2 hyper carries is a scary spot.
I would say so. Smeb, not in the scariest spot, as he seems pretty safe still up in that top lane. There is a pink ward in the brush for LZIM. Well, wow, I knew it was going to happen at some point. For Longzhu, they still even have the IM logo on their logo.
But you're not allowed to say it, though. That's what we were told.
Guess,
They're like,
yeah.
just disregard that.
Oh, Kuro forced away with that Chaos Storm. Gorilla and Peanut coming up to top lane, though. Gorilla in hot pursuit of Chaser. They're going to slow him down. Smeb coming in. Chaser in trouble. There's a grand challenge. Can he get over the wall? No. That's going to be a kill coming in. Bard tries to ult, catches Peanut, but it's not in time to save their jungler. Chaser upset about that one. Can't blame him.
Second kill of the game. It goes over to the Fiora. Probably not enough to give her a big lane advantage against the Tahm Kench, but every little bit helps when the team fights can be so scary. And okay, first Rift Herald of the game, potentially going over the ROX Tigers.
Yeah, why not? Might as well take that one, and we'll see who they give it over to. I would guess probably Peanut. Seems like we've been seeing more Rift Heralds go to junglers than anyone else.
Give it to Gorilla.
Nope, Peanut taking it, yep.
They're not going to give it to Gorilla.
I guess not. Oh well.
Neither are Riot in the top 20.
Ah, that again, I see. Well, Kuro, still pretty safe in that mid lane. Dragon is up now, that's the big question. Can Longzhu find a way to get that for themselves?
Bard spent a lot of more time in bottom than Gorilla has, but no big CS advantage coming through for Captain Jack. Still neck and neck between those two. CS values in general, very even across the board. But Peanut, man, that is a zero-sum build. Not worried about any boots, anything like that. Rod of Ages as quick as possible. For a jungler, that's a really good timing.
Get the Rift Herald buff too, you don't need boots.
That's fair.
They really want this dragon though.
Had the first, so setting themselves at a decent pace if they could pick up a second one, but Chase is not interested.
Oh, Captain Jack taking a lot of damage. This might help, but Prey taking some in return. Gorilla with a nice body block, preventing some of that culling from getting through. They do have to back off of Dragon, though.
Smart to see Prey rushing the attack speed item here rather than going for what you'd expect on a Tristana build. We spoke about how right-click auto-attack AD carries were out of the meta. We're going to see everyone back away just because the itemization doesn't fit as naturally. You don't get an Essence Reaver on Tristana. You don't really get any of the other meta AD carry items, which are things like Essence Reaver, things like differing item picks. But if you go attack speed Tristana, which has always been a thing, you remember static shiv Tristana coming through from the KD Bullets many years ago.
Right.
You still have turret taking potential, so it's purely for turret taking this early build, and of course we'll build eventually into the Infinity Edge that all Tristana players know and love.
Oh, Peanut trying for the fadeaway spear on the Rift Scuttler, but didn't quite get it.
Not this time.
They're gonna try to go for something maybe in bot lane. Nope, just clearing out the pink ward now. Can they dive this? I don't know if that would be a wise idea.
Diving a Bard is a bit like diving a Maokai, almost never advised.
All right.
Just rapid fire cannon pushing waves.
Now, if they could land a spear on Captain Jack, they might be able to transition that into a dragon.
We'll see.
Okay, well, it's going to be a dragon anyway.
Chase is on the top side of the map. They probably have a blue buff timing, so they know that Chase is likely to be on top side of the map. So, yep, just blow the Floss Queen's claim. That'll give them the last bits of information. Should be an easy dragon.
Yeah, dragon taken by the ROX Tigers. That's 2 in a row now. Really good shape as far as that goes. 3K gold lead. Gorilla once again blocking the culling. He's not too worried about it.
Captain Jack using that old off cooldown for lane control.
Yep. Captain Jack slowed down a bit. Gorilla takes a bite out of Captain Jack. The Troll King.
Troll King.
That's Trundle's title.
Got any more for me, Doe? Lace them on.
Isn't Tristana the Yordle Gunner, I believe?
I feel like it's an M-word gunner. I want to say Megling gunner or something.
Megling Gunner? Yeah, but that's back when Meglings existed. Now she's just a Yordle. I don't think she was a Yordle originally.
I want to say you're wrong, but again, we're getting too deep on the lore, Doe. We should back away.
Do you really want to
No.
say that I'm wrong about something lore related?
That's
you
a
really
fair
want to
point.
try that?
You are a lore expert. You have that printed on your business cards even.
I do. It says Doa, League Lore Expert. Or LLE for short.
Yes.
Yep. Oh, Crow's taking a lot of turret damage, but this is kind of what Victor does in this matchup. Coco's been certainly doing his job in the mid lane.
Honestly, it's the battle of line wave clear, you know, between the Q and the E, respectively, of Lulu and Victor. The big difference, of course, that Victor has some pretty sick burst damage in team fights, and Lulu, we all know about her utility.
Oh yeah.
People might wonder, why is Lulu back? Because AP itemization was largely nerfed. AD carries are played in every role. Why has Lulu been pick and ban? Big thing is that, at least theoretically, games are going to end earlier, so Lulu's damage drop-off would not be as respectable, but any champion that can help you get a pick, speaking
Nice
of...
dodge. If that spirit connected, maybe they would have gone for that more, but no, deciding to hold off on that. Spears are dangerous, but yeah, it's what you're saying too. I mean, Lulu does have all that utility. Obviously, you can have that knock-up in team fights,
Sure.
but you can never underestimate the power of Whimsy at the right moment.
And that's the thing, is that Lulu doesn't always get the picks herself, but when you put Whimsy and give someone else 60% extra movement speed, they'll get the picks just fine, and picks are so big in this game, with the death timers being so much longer between, I believe, 13 and 40 minutes. You're so much more punished if you're ever caught out of position, and Lulu's the best at speeding people up to make them do that.
Yeah, and I mean, even more than that, Whimsying an enemy during a team fight is huge too. Wow, Kuro trying to go for the 2v1. Peanut trying to help out, but that Chaos Storm keeping Coco alive, essentially.
Just giving a bit of lane pressure. Kuro's, you know, losing slightly in CS, being pushed up, so just trying to provide an assist where he can. Finally has boots. Interesting. Not League of Swifties on the side of ROX Tigers at all.
Yeah, I guess so. League of
CDR
Lucidity.
boots. I mean,
There we
CDR
go.
boots were the ones before. Oh, Chaser.
Chaser slowed down. He takes a bit of damage.
Gorilla finally learns about swiftness boots. Of course, he'd been staunchly buying only mobility boots on Alistair, but
It's hard to, I mean, it's hard to break with tradition, right?
that's right. Old traditions die hard.
Yeah, and a top lane dive. That's a storied tradition in League of Legends, and Flame is going to be the victim yet again, using that health. Bard comes in, got that Tempered Faith. Is it enough to keep Flame alive? No, not quite. Prey with the kill there. Smeb getting low, but the Wild Growth is going to keep him alive for the moment anywhere. Chaser on the outside of the fight. Peanut forcing Captain Jack away. The turret goes down in the meantime in favor of the ROX Tigers, and they're not done pursuing just yet. Can they find Chaser? Captain Jack right there. Peanut getting aggressive, needs to be careful. Whoa! Kuro with a nice snipe onto Captain Jack. I think that's going to be about all the ROX Tigers acquire. They take the tier 2 turret in top lane as well. That went better than you could ever imagine, I think, if you're ROX Tigers coming into that.
The ambiguity is not there with this build from Chitana at all. An extra recurve bow on the top. Swiftness bow is going to rotate around and push down all the turrets from Flame.
Let's watch that replay.
They already had 2 turrets down. They knew they were going to get the 3rd one. Nothing Flame can do. Gets turret dive. Honestly, Longzhu need to back away. Lulu's committed nothing to this fight just yet. They think they can burst down Smeb. No such story once he has the wild growth. And then they just pick their targets, and Longzhu are running every direction to try and get away.
Yep.
Remember, Flame is their only frontliner. Longzhu have consistently only had single frontline lineups, but look at this burst onto Captain Jack.
Whoa, man.
Lulu in the mid game still does plenty of damage.
Yeah, I don't even know if he landed the E there. I think that might have just been Glitter Lance.
That was an E on top of Peanut, and the Q just to snipe him. It was just literally
that's
a
right.
Luden's Echo proc and the Glitter Lance killed.
Yeah, that's right. Didn't use the damage from the E. Well, Longzhu trying to defend their mid lane turret, but it's gotten very low the recent past.
I think Longzhu need to move away from Bard support single tank lineups and getting punished for it consistently. It's going to be another turret very shortly.
It seems that way. Yeah, and the ROX Tigers have, at this point, taken complete control of the game. It's going to be pretty tough for Longzhu to come back.
Going to keep applying the pressure. Peanut set the story very early, getting in the face of Chaser. Chaser actually managed to wrestle the momentum back quite a bit, but after that, the moment that Chitana could leave lane with swiftness boots and all this attack speed, they just go wherever Flame is, dive him, and take his turret.
And good luck catching Trundle. If you try to run through a choke, that turret's going to stop you every time. And that red buff, or that blue buff rather, is going to go over to Kuro. Gromp wants to say hello, but no, it is not time for you, Gromp. Go back home.
At this point, Longzhu, 8,000 gold behind at 26 minutes, giving away all the dragons. This is a scary thing to say, though. I'm going to put it out there.
Okay.
This is on course for perfect game.
Yeah, maybe, and I think, everyone expected the ROX Tigers to come into this one with an edge in the matchup, but perfect game, I would be shocked if they were able to pull that off.
Look, still a lot to go. I don't think it will be a perfect game, but the ROX Tigers are definitely the team to beat. SKT are up there, but the ROX Tigers have shown more in the small sample size we've seen so far.
Gorilla is so good at putting pressure onto the enemy team while doing it safely. Red buff steal with the spear. Wow, Peanut, insult to injury there on the Longzhu as they just try to take a buff. Prey is killing these turrets so fast.
He has so much attack speed and AD. There's nothing Flame can do, and that's why I love this counter to the top lane Tahm Kench. Tahm Kench has not been permaban or picked and banned for this top lane, but more and more teams are learning. Send people who can take down turrets. Tahm Kench has almost no wave clear. The team definitely has no other frontline. That's why the dive up top was so smart. They dived the frontliner. There is no other frontliner. They still have Lulu to re-engage with the ultimate and the Whimsy onto Smeb. And all Longzhu can do is run in every direction except into the fight.
Well, when you compare, or when you combine the utility from Lulu with Fiora, you really get a pretty tanky front line that does a ton of damage at the same time. You've got wild growth, you've got the E as well, help picks, keeping Smeb healthy, and then you combine that with the heal from Grand Challenge if he completes it. It's really tough to kill that Fiora.
Lulu Fiora is already strong. Peanut's been ahead. He went the most aggressive itemization possible, getting the early rod evade. It's already 10 stacks at 28 minutes. That damage certainly hasn't fallen off. Only just now an Aegis completed for Bard. But
meanwhile, Prey and Gorilla chasing 3 members of Longzhu down the mid lane.
even think about this. Lots of magic damage, lots of physical damage. How do you itemize percentage health, true damage coming out from Fiora?
And I love this strategy, too, to drop the pillar just to slow people around the turret, to let Peanut land those easier spears. Very scary stuff. Wow, they nearly took out Captain Jack right there.
Keep pushing in. Gorilla can take up a few shots. Okay, they don't have the explosive charge available again, but they're just going to keep rinse and repeat. And Pure needs to go for the world's best Bard ultimate, but why would they be grouped as 3? They'll just separate across the side of the lane. Smeb keeps split pushing. Flame can only watch.
Oh, goodbye. Goodbye, mid lane tier 2.
ROX Tigers.
It's not going to last much longer.
The ROX Tigers are godlike at these poke siege comps. They don't need the Quinn to pull them off. Give them the Lulu and it looks just the same as some of those previous games.
Yeah. It's pretty stunning, honestly, just how good the Tigers have been looking this season.
They started off 2015 as a new team, but very good at a single strat. Of course, over the course of the year fell away.
Oh, and Tempered Fate only hits a minion. That's not going to save your turret.
Hard Ultimate is not your reliable engage tool.
No,
It's
no,
not
I don't
how
think
it
so.
functions.
Yeah. I mean, it can be a tool for picks. It can be a tool for keeping things alive.
Oh,
but
disengage, it's wonderful.
Sure.
If
but
you have a
it's-
big vision advantage, maybe you can get away with it, but not as a, this is all we've got.
Yeah. Prey is a pushing machine at this point.
He's got a Hurricane, so yep.
Yeah.
Remember, this build was the Rapid Fire Cannon into Infinity Edge, into Hurricane, but the Swiftness Boots early as well to rotate around the turrets. So much permanent gold, 6 turrets taken down to 0 that Longzhu's been able to put together, even though they have good wave clear. Lucian, Victor, we've certainly not got a Kassadin situation going on with Longzhu.
No, not at all. I mean, Longzhu has a good team. They've got a good team comp. It's just they've been completely outplayed this game by the ROX Tigers. That turret low. We may see the perfect game coming to an end here. Gorilla doesn't want to let that happen though. Precon destroyed by Coco. Goodbye perfect game. Goodbye mid lane turret. And you got to be careful. That Tristana is not going to survive long in a situation like that.
We talked about how Victor and Lulu can both clear waves. That's the big difference from Victor, is that he deletes people.
Yep.
Yep. Any hopes of a perfect game gone out the window. We're just going to buy time till Prey respawns. Minute 50 till Dragon, so no big objectives for Longzhu to take, although they're looking for this in a turret.
Yeah, well, why not put the pressure in while Prey is down? I don't think ROX Tigers want to fight this 4v5. Oh, Coco takes a big hit.
Oh boy.
Tempered Fate
This could be
locks up
bad.
Gorilla and Smeb. It might be bad, yeah. Gorilla in the middle of everything. There's the grand challenge onto Chaser. Might be bad for Longzhu as Smeb gets onto everyone. Captain Jack caught. Double kill for Smeb. Make it. Yeah, double kill. Peanut picks one up in a flame. He's not going to last too much longer. Triple kill for Smeb at the end. And Kuro slowing down Pure. That's going to be maybe an ace. Magical Journey. He's going to follow. Oh, Tempered
missed.
Fate. He mistimed it. There's the ace. And, well, just like that, it's going to be a Baron. Tigers turning it around about as much as you possibly can.
Smeb is such a raid boss already. He just ran in a 4v5 and killed everyone. The moment Lulu put down anything onto him, people were deleted left, right, and center. How about this? Let's take the Baron and their inhibitor at the same time. Why not? That seems easy.
Well, man, they landed that Tempered Fate and decided, all right, we're just going to go in there, finish off the turret.
Tempered
and then,
Fate into
all right, check this
layering
out.
on the W. That's the thing, is this looks like the start of a good team fight for Longzhu, but watch the moment Smeb commits. He's like, wait, I've still got the grand challenge. Instantly Chaser is dead, the full tank. Whimsy on the back of the Fiora. Someday and Smeb are so good at this champion, and Smeb is edging ahead, you'd have to say.
I mean, we saw what happened to KT Rolster at Worlds when they let Smeb have Fiora a bunch of games in a row. Spoiler alert, it did not go well for KT. And you really got to be wary about giving Smeb Fiora.
Late in the draft as well, though, and we called it, right? During the previous round of picks, I'm like, well, they're setting up for a Fiora. They got the Fiora, and damned if it didn't look impressive.
Yep, now that's going to be 4 dragons in a row for the ROX Tigers. I really doubt that Longzhu is going to be able to prevent this.
So you know when a team's behind, and you're like, I don't really know how the enemy win the fight. You know, you think, okay, this team, like for example, the Kassadin that couldn't really get into the back of the fight in the previous game.
Oh, wow, Smeb, look at the reflexes. Man, he saw that one coming.
Oh boy.
Oh, and now it's fighting time. Tempered Fate out of commission. Captain Jack in trouble. Smeb finds him in the back lines. Gets locked up by the gravity field. Just not taking damage from Chaos Storm though. Coco on the run, slowed by the pillar, and he is not going to make it out of this one. Double kill for Peanut, who has been fantastic on that in Italy this game. Meanwhile, Prey just decides to take the top inhibitor turret, and I think they can just end the game right now.
What a re-debut for Flame. Watching the ROX Tigers play another clean game of League of Legends. I don't think Flame got to get to play much League of Legends this time, Goa.
That was a stomp. GG, ROX Tigers dominate game 1.
12-1.